Hey guys, this is Builder, and this is a video of my game with me versus Alistair Cookie. So I start out with my initial settler. I have a couple of granary resources nearby, a couple of forests as well, and if you look around me, two tiles in all directions, you can see there's only a couple of hills, which excluding the gems tile. And I was thinking about moving up, but that would have moved me away from some of those hills, meaning I would have probably hooked up my iron more slowly. So I just decided to found in place so I could stay nearby the couple hills where I could potentially get iron. So the gems is always a pretty nice start, getting a gems tile near your capital. Mining luxuries in general are pretty powerful. They give you you get the happiness so much earlier than you would from other luxury resources. And plus they're a good tile to be working as well. So getting my granary, my basic granary start. I want to maximize the growth I can get from those granary, both the deer and the wheat, which are granary resources, meaning you get extra growth from them. So I want to build the granary quickly and get a lot of growth before I spam out some cities. And if you look right above my capital, I have a really great thing. I have the double wheats, meaning that I want to build a city there, and it might be a little bit not be a great idea because early cities don't grow that much. But I have a mining luxury, so I'll be able to improve that tile quickly. So I'll be able to get some extra happiness. So my city, might be able to build a granary and get some nice growth in that city. Although, yeah, it doesn't have very many hammers around it though, which is kind of a problem. I settled it on the hill, and that means that I won't be able to work any hills because this hill is part of the city tile, which is kind of a problem. And also it kind of blocks off me from getting Old Faithful. So the more I think about it, the less I really like that city spot. I don't get Old Faithful. I don't have any extra hills to work, and I just don't like it. My manufactured goods are doing pretty well because I founded my city before him. My first city before him. And because I'm Russia, so I'll be getting the extra hammers from the horse tiles. Alistar is coming back around with the scout, so I'm bringing my warrior back to protect him. Protect my worker from the scout. I'll get a barracks, the Russian barracks in the unique barracks because I have extra time. I guess there's other stuff. I don't really want to build other stuff right now. I'll be improving my gold, so I'll be able to get happiness. I'm at 0 happiness right now, meaning that when I grow, I will go into unhappiness. And so Alistar declares war on me. That's pretty much everybody just declares war on sight. What I kind of did there was I made it so that both my cities are growing on about the same turn. I restricted growth so that they would both be able to get an extra population in the city to get more gold and more hammers. But once I get the gems up, they'll both be growing, which will be good. I'm thinking about sending my warrior back to attack their scout, just because having a scout behind you is kind of a nuisance, but I probably wouldn't be able to catch him if I worked out the turns, and with his movement bonus and a head start, it's unlikely I'd be able to catch him with all the rivers too. My scout manages to get away for now, which is nice. I take the free worker policy. I'll chop some forests for a nice hammer boost. I'll get my settler out. Oh, but I mess up there because I didn't finish my mine. I thought my worker had finished the mine, but it hadn't yet. So I waste a turn moving off and moving back on, or more like 2 turns I waste. Another thing is, I believe since you have the plus 50% modifier for chopping forests, if you chop them while you're building a settler, you get a plus 50% bonus while you're chopping them, so it's better to chop them while building settlers. I don't know, I haven't tested that out yet to be sure, but I think it's good to chop while you're building settlers. Plus, it reduces the amount of time your city isn't growing because you stagnate when you build a settler. And now I'm going to kind of move my warrior up to check out a little bit of the area below me for where I can found my next city. And I'm Russia, so I get double iron. Oh, and about my moving, if I would have moved up a little bit, say up a bit, I would have lost my iron tile. I mean, it would have been within 3 range of my capital, but it would have taken a very long time to get. So it might be a good thing that I settled where I was, because now I'll be able to get the iron from my capital. Although, I'm Russia, so I can get iron pretty easily anyway. I just need a 6 iron, and then you're pretty much... once you get a 6 iron as Russia, you're pretty much good for the rest of the game. And one problem right now is I do not have very many luxuries. I should have looked a little bit more carefully and seen that I had just uncovered a line to the left, but I wasn't really... I guess I moved my warrior, but I didn't really think about it very much. Because right now I'm working with 2 luxuries. I have 2 in my capital, and those are the only 2 I have. So I have gems nearby. I'm looking for more luxuries right now. I have gems nearby, and I have spices nearby, and those are the only 2 luxuries I see. I mean, there's the wine nearby, but I forgot about that, pretty much. So that's bad. And so now I'm just kind of fooling around trying to figure out where to build my other city. I'm not quite sure where. And my manufactured goods are doing pretty well. I need to be careful moving my settler, because obviously he's unprotected. I'm waiting for him to end his turn before I move my settler, and even then I'm moving it 1 tile at a time. What I think I'm going to do with this city is that I'm going to found it in kind of a defensive position nearby the mountains. So hopefully I can have kind of a tough-to-take city in the way. The only problem with that is that they can either go around, which they can do pretty easily on this map because the bottom is pretty much open right now, or they can, yeah, they can get around pretty much, is the problem. And I'll be moving units up. I need to get my iron up quickly, or soon, so that I can get my swordsman. I'm moving my warriors in behind just to keep it safe. Hopefully keep my settler as safe as possible. And I'm getting a circus right now because all of my cities aren't growing very well. Or my cities are growing well, and so I'm running out of happiness. And I'm just founding a new city. So now that I'm in more than, I don't know, -2 happiness, building a circus might not have been a good idea in Moscow. And then I crash into some Arabian swordsmen, because I wasn't very aggressive in upgrading. And I think I should have upgraded a little bit more quickly than I did with swordsmen. Anyway, I'll be building up some army. I'm kind of fooling around with what I'm going to do with my worker above in my first city. I think I'm not sure whether to, I think if you are not growing, you want to not build farms, because farms are begin to be a little bit less helpful when you don't have any food. When the food is reduced, the excess food is reduced by 75%. So it's better to build trading posts. So I changed my mind and went out to build the trading post. And of course you want to be building the trading posts on rivers, because the river tiles give you the base food to begin with, or base gold to begin with. So if you're improving a non-riverside plains tile, it'll just turn it into a normal plains tile and you haven't really gained anything. Your city won't be able to work better tiles because of it. Whereas if you improve the plains tile, you can get the nice 2 gold instead of the 1 gold from the tile. And I kind of realized a bit late that the Alistar is about to... He has quite a big military, and that he is coming at me with the settler too. He's going to plop a city down in the mountains there and try to gain position with a bunch of swordsmen. I should have been paying more attention to the army statistics in the demographics menu and built more army aggressively. And so I kind of jump into something I'm not really prepared for with that swordsman. I should be more careful right now. I need to build up my army. I believe I have more manufactured goods. I'm not sure about that though. Alistar has a very high score right now, which means he has a lot of cities, which is a big short-term bonus, but in the long term, I think it's pretty hard to keep those cities growing and to have that be viable over a long period of time. I keep on flashing the demographics too quickly for me to read it. You guys can pause it because you're watching the video, but I have to keep it running because I'm watching it. You gotta fortify all my swordsmen. And then kind of the tides turn a little bit. He had 2 and I had 3, and now he has 4 and I have 3, so he has numbers on me now. So I'm not quite... I think I'm being silly in saying, oh, I'm going to attack this swordsman here. I'm building the pyramids, which is another thing you shouldn't be doing while a guy's attacking you this aggressively. I should have been, again, checking army numbers more aggressively. I'll be building my road up. Hook up my cities to get some gold for warrior upgrades. And that's the nice thing, again, about having a high population city early, is that the trade route income makes it worth it. That didn't really work out that well. I killed off one of his swordsmen. He took a decent amount of damage. But then I lost a swordsman, so... But then since he has greater numbers than me, he has more swordsmen still, and I don't, so that's not good. I'll try to run away a little bit, but then he kills it off. That was a pretty bad decision by me to attack the fortified swordsman. Even though I was able to kill it off, he was able to kill off 2 of my swordsmen and injure one of them, essentially like wrecking my defending force. And I'm not building replacements right now, at least I wasn't, because I was building the pyramids, which now seems like a little bit of a waste of money, or waste of hammers, because, not a waste, but like not a good way to spend my hammers while the guy is rushing me. So again, pretty stupid move by me. Did he steal one of my workers? Yeah, he did steal one of my workers with that scout. But then I look at the combat preview and actually it was bad, so it was probably not a good idea to go out and try to attack him with my swordsman. I should be running back into the city. But then I tried to bombard one of his units, because he moved at the end of the turn, and that brought the focus off of my swordsman, meaning that he was able to kill off my swordsman. So not very especially not a very good thing, because I was trying to, like, maybe attack his scout or something, but instead I ended up wasting another unit that I could have saved for a while at least. So I'm going to send my scout around and hopefully be able to find their iron. And then I will be able to pillage their iron, and they'll have troubles. I'm building tons of roads right now between my cities so I can get troop transports. As you can see right now, nobody's really doing anything right now. The turn timer is kind of rolling down slowly. And so and he captures Rostov. I'm looking at his approval rating. He's only at 33%, which is not very high. But his army's stats are very big. So I really want to find his iron. That scout, but it looks like he's just been spam building cities, so he doesn't have much happiness at all. And that's why his score is really big right now, is that he has lots of cities. So I'm kind of throwing together a team of units to try to counter his attack. My happiness is back because he took the city. Although I would be perfectly happy to take the happiness hit right now. I'd much rather have that city than myself than have him have it. And he has numbers on me, so I have to kind of pull back. So I'm just going to start spam building swordsmen and try to set up a defensive wall. Although now that he took Rostov, it's hard to set up a wall because there isn't really a good spot for it. And I think he kind of wandered a scout in. I don't think he was trying to sacrifice his unit intentionally. It was just like he didn't know my units were there, so he just moved it, and I was just there to smash him. Unfortunately, he has numbers on me. Again, look, he has 4 swordsmen that I can see, and I only have 4 right now, and one of them is damaged, with a 5th coming. But he has probably a ton of swordsmen coming too, as well. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to work this, how I want to set up a defensive line and hold against Alistair. I'm trying to decide if I can try to attack one of their swordsmen or try to kind of turn the tide a little bit. I'll get the Golden Age, so I'll be able to get more gold and upgrade more warriors into swords instead of having to hard build the swords. And I'm building more trading posts so that I can get some more gold intake as well. Yeah. Oh, and then he kind of sends a sword around. As you can see, Alistair has a lot more swordsmen than I have, because I've built, like, even if you took, say, the hammers from the pyramids, and the extra hammers he got from just building a ton of cities, probably too many cities for a long game, I think that, yeah, he just got a short-term boost from having a lot of cities, and I was not focusing on military. So now I will be trying to hold kind of a defensive wall against Alistair. He has a lot more swordsmen than me right now. And he could probably take that bottom warrior, that bottom swordsman if he moved quickly right now. And I'm trying to figure out how I can retreat while remaining safe and losing as few swords as possible. At the end of the turn, I'll try to retreat. Again, I'm trying to keep my units always fortified as much as possible, so he can, so if he wants to attack me, he'll be suffering a big penalty. And I'm trying to do something to kind of turn the odds against him by kind of throwing at, going at certain units, or weakened units. And I'm gonna, let's see what I use this horseman for. I might try to use the horseman as kind of a sneaker scout for the iron. A sneak, kind of, because again, a horseman works a lot better, can work a lot better than a scout with sneaking up and taking out iron, because you can be out of sight and before when you take out the unit. I think we just had a reload right there. One of us dropped or something. I'm not quite sure how many turns we might have jumped there. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to pull the unit back before he moved, but I failed, and my unit died. And right now there isn't too much going on in terms of like what my strategy is. I'm just building defense to try to get as many swordsmen as he does. I'm trying to kind of poke at their swordsmen while keeping my own. Maybe I should have not been trying to attack theirs, but I don't know if that made me lose, if that's making me lose more units like more quickly, or if that's helping me a bit. I'm not sure. Looking at all those cities, you can see he just has so many cities. He has 5 in sight, which is more than I have total. That's one of my complaints about the game, is that the turn timer is too long, that you have way too much time to do nothing. because we're both waiting for the other guy to move, and so we don't want to end the turn and both roll over. And as you can see, Alistair has started to bring archers in, which will do some extra damage to my swordsman, and I don't have anything to counter them with. The archer is a nice unit. It's kind of a little bit cheap. It's kind of a support unit. You're not going to be able to rush somebody with archers alone. You'll need lots of units to support. Again, if you look at manufactured goods, he's shot up above me, both because he took a city in, because he has a lot more cities than I do. And I'm in a golden age as well, so I'm getting a boost from that too. He also probably has a bigger army than I do. No, bad luck for my horsemen. I was trying to sneak through, but then there was an archer there standing in the way. Again, he's trying to attack me, and I'm punching back whenever he tries to take a unit. But since he has more swordsmen than me, he can lose just as many units as I do, while not lose as many units as I do, and still have a larger army than I do. And the archers are kind of helping him at this point, because even after I kill units, he'll bombard me before I kill a unit, he'll bombard me after I kill a unit, so it's taking extra damage, and then he can finish me off with some other unit. And again, I killed off a couple of swordsmen, but then he has archers behind, which are just kind of nasty. I'm switching into strategic view periodically because I think it gives you less lag. At least that's the word, or what people say. Lets you move a little bit faster. I got my great general. He's very nice. Although, I don't know. I think it's more helpful for an offensive invasion, because what it allows, it gives you a bonus, a combat bonus, and that bonus is less important when you're fortified. So, yeah. Kill off another sword. I got my great general nearby, so I'll get a big boost to combat, 20% combat strength boost. And I kind of have that swordsman surrounded, but he has other swordsmen behind it, so I'm not sure if I'll attack it. Again, I'm building trading posts for the gold, because I don't really want to grow my cities too much. And now that he has horsemen, he'll be able to hit and run without me being able to kind of come back and attack him. That's not good. This is my great general. Again, great general is nice, but you know. Again, I'm looking for the iron, but he's seen me, so he knows my horseman is around there, looking for his iron. So I'm looking for tech to take. I'll be finishing Liberty sometime in the near future, and with that I can get long swords, but it'll probably be before this fight is over. Again, all of his cities are one population, so if I had been able to hold off this wave of units, I would be able to outgrow him and out-tech him, get more wonders than him in the long term, especially with so few, well, I don't know how many luxury resources he has, but I certainly don't have very many. I'm just moving my horsemen one tile at a time so I don't run into anything. I'm just trying to make something happen right here. I'm trying to try to get lucky with my attacks. I'm a little bit more aggressive. And I move my swordsman up front just after he moves his swordsman up, where I would have rather had my swordsman back. So that was bad timing on my part. My great general is still protected, which is good. And I want to try to attack the swordsman, Arabian swordsman, which is on the hill, but I forget that there is an archer with a zone of control, which keeps my swordsman from being able to attack his swordsman on the hill, which is sad. And so I think right here I'm about to do a bad suicide move with my swordsman. And I'm looking for his iron. I find his capital, but he has a warrior on top of the iron, so there's nothing I'm going to do about that. Anyway, he's continued to push forward. As you can see, I've killed off a bunch of his swordsmen, but I have not managed to kill off many of his archers. So, he has a bunch of archers and a couple of swordsmen now. I'll be able to get an insta-heal next turn on that unit, which will be good. Oh, and I almost managed to kill off the sword, but I don't quite manage it. I'll be moving my Great General back. I kept my Great General back a little bit back from combat, close enough so he'd give the bonus, but far enough away so that he wouldn't get killed if I got unlucky and left and had a unit die on me. The Great General gives a 20% combat bonus for all units within 2 tiles, so you can keep it a little bit back from the front line and keep it protected. Hopefully he won't, Alistar will not be able to get my Great General with that horseman. We'll see. Because the horseman will have the 4 moves to be able to go through the forest. And this is one point where having a road is kind of nice. It allows you kind of snipe off archers with your horsemen. Again, he has all of his archers left over. And he started to bombard it with archers. You can see Novgorod has taken a little bit of damage from archers. I still have plenty of iron because I have the Russia double iron ability. And I was almost able to kill off that sword, but not quite. Maybe a little bit unlucky, maybe, I don't know, the odds weren't great for me. But with all those archer units, it's really hard to do much. If I had like a solid group of, say, 3 swordsmen, I could take out the units really quickly. and he would lose a ton of units really fast. But I don't have a lot of units to send him at once, so he'll just be able to kind of pick them off one at a time. Because I have to defend my city. I can't just leave it and build up a couple of units and then go at him. I have to go at him quickly to try to keep the city. I'll move my horseman back into the city so that he'll be able to get some healing. And again, the road, it allows me to move forward, strike, and then move back. I'm researching steel. I don't think that'll help me that much. And I'm picking off archer units with horsemen. Horsemen are pretty effective against archers, but as you can see, I just didn't have enough horsemen or just units in general to keep Novigrad. I was just scouting out what he had. It's probably a little bit risky to do with your great general. He probably wasn't expecting it though, so it's good. So what did I do wrong in this game? Well, I had a decent number of cities. I should have claimed the unique luxury to my left, but really what was most important is that I should have claimed I needed to build more military more quickly. I lollygagged a lot with my military. Instead of building up military and setting up a defensive line, I kind of waited a while to upgrade my warriors. I didn't check the army stats. And also, when he had like 4 swordsmen and I only had 3 and I wasted like 2 of them, that was a really bad thing because it allowed him to take the city and just kind of start steamrolling. And if I had been able to hold the city, I believe I would have been a lot better off. Actually, well, I'm not sure if I would have been that better off. But, anyway, I'm making a citadel for fun. And that's the thing, the citadel, right? It pillages it and it's gone right away, so. I get a great scientist, and I use him on steel, but it's too late to do anything anymore. I improved the citadel tile back up, so that's always something to remember. Only a great general can build a citadel tile, but any unit or any worker can repair it. So that's good. And so I'm just joking around at this point. It's pretty certain that he's going to win. Horsemen don't get a defensive bonus in a citadel, because they just don't get defensive bonuses in general. And he pillages it again. He'll be advancing, and I want to build a swordsman and upgrade it to a long swordsman quickly, just for fun. And then, yeah, I made a deal with him. Let me build my long swordsman just to prove that I'm technologically superior, and then I'll leave. I'm not sure if I show that whole thing to you. It's only a couple of turns. I'll build 3 turns for the swordsman, and then 1 turn for upgrading it for the long swordsman for 70 gold. And if you pillaged my iron right now, I wouldn't be able to finish. But then, I don't know, that would be mean, so he's not going to do that. And he's standing on all my hammer tiles, so it'll be hard for me to finish off the swordsman. Anyway, I stopped recording at this point. I was about to lose. Thanks for watching. Build more army.